Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I've been blessed to now have connected with so much of the true reality behind how to create my life, and how with crystal clear desires, exactly what I want, fused with deep emotions about how that feels to have those things, and in particular how it feels to have those things now, to take myself into that state, to feel the feelings that I have those things now, that I'm experiencing those things, that I have those resources, I have those connections, I have all of these things in life, tangible and intangible, experiences, access to things, ownership of things, relationships, travel, anything and everything in life. I've learned now, and I've experienced so many times, so many instances, and it just seems normal now to take myself into the state and the feeling that it's now, that it's my reality, and that it's expected and it's normal for me. And this is away from gluttony or greed, because we're abundant. I've realized everything is abundant, and I don't have a zero-sum mentality. I have an abundance mentality. I know now everything is abundant. Money, resources, love, connection, relationships, everything, experiences, travel, love, sex, everything is abundant. And me experiencing abundance in all of these areas, friendships, relationships, connections, everything, me experiencing abundance in all of these areas actually results in a positive effect. It emanates and vibrates abundance, love and service, because that's the place that I come from. I've realized my reality, and I've stepped into living from Him and living from that space. And I know now why I'm here and what my calling is. And I know now that living from this space, living from this incredible, euphoric, joyful, abundant person, this soul, abundant soul, living a human experience that I can bless, I can love, I can serve, I can experience abundantly and euphorically and unlimitedly, joyfully, everything I desire, caused and driven by my desire and the feeling that I have it now. And then to be like a beacon or a bug light, as Dave Meltzer calls it, to then magnify, share and amplify that, and create a seismic tsunami-like ripple effect of love, service, impact, empowerment and inspiration all around me, 360 degrees, emanating love and positive vibration and inspiration, because that's who I really am. That's who we all are. And my deepest, sincerest prayer to the Almighty and to every soul on this planet is that we all realize that. We all come to get out of our own way, and we unlearn the things that keep us from that obscure the perception and appreciation of the reality and that understanding, and that everyone starts to step into their true, magnificent, beautiful, perfect, yet unique, abundant self. All of us have a speck of the Almighty within us. Our souls are eternal. They can't be burnt, they can't be drenched, they can't be killed, the soul cannot be harmed or changed. It was before, it is now, it always will be. We are a soul experiencing a human life, and we live in a world of abundance. The world is energy, life is energy, love is energy. We live in abundance, we are abundance. And realizing that is the key to a perfect, unbounded, unlimited life, where we realize and start to serve. We realize we're here to serve, and we start to live. Surely the ultimate point of us being here as to what we can do for others. As the famous Kennedy quotation goes, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. So ask not what the world can do for you, ask what you can do for the world. And by understanding and making these breakthroughs of the sorts of things that we've talked about, that's how you can be a beacon, that's how you can be a servant. That's how, when you look after and serve and love everyone you can impact and serve, what you want, what you need, what's important to you, will just be blown. Like all of those expectations, you will just smash through. I'm finding it now. And my sincere, deep and love-filled prayer is that you do that too. We're all equal souls in this life, on this planet. Abundance is your birthright. I've realized it's mine. It's yours as well. Whoever you are, whatever you've been through, whatever your story, that's just your journey so far. We've all been through shit. You're probably going through stuff now. I don't know what you're going through. All I know is that you are in control of your imagination. Whoever you are, whatever you are, a person in prison can choose whether they see the stars or the bars. That's their choice. That is their choice. But only when they realize that, and only when they have the blessing and the inspiration and enlightenment to actually realize they have that choice and to exercise it. Once they see the stars and once they get into imagination and they get into desires, whoever you are, you're not in prison now. You don't have any kind of restriction. So exercise your emotions, exercise your imagination. Find out what you want. I realized, Tony Robbins taught me this in one of his videos or audios I heard. The problem with most of us is that we don't know what we want. I thought this was crazy. I thought, what is he talking about? But of course, a person who's changed so many millions of lives inevitably knows what they're talking about. It's just that I didn't get it at the time. But I've been blessed to get it since. And I've realized through all the amazing work and all the amazing speakers and researchers and beautiful souls who've contributed so much that this is true. The first thing we need to get a very clear idea of is what we want. Life really begins not the day you're born, it's the day you realize why. So when you get clear on what you want, that might connect with your purpose and a realization of why you are here on this planet, in this life. Get a clear sense of what you want and what it means to you. Now that might take you time. We're not taught to do that at school. You are not sat in a lesson where the teacher says to you, whether kindergarten or 18, what do you want? What are your dreams? What are you passionate about? God forbid you're asked the question, why are you bored? Why are you tuned out of this history lesson or this math lesson? What are you really thinking about? Ask that kid that question. Probe that kid. You will find what they're passionate about, what ticks their boxes. You may not have a math genius, or you may not have a PhD historian. You might have the world's best singer. You might have an inspirational artist. They might be the next tech genius. Until they are unlocked, until we're all unlocked, you unlock yourself. Start imagining. Think about what you want. Get clear on why you're here. Ask yourself that question. And from this point onwards, you will remember this day as the day that you started finding out, what do I want, what matters to me. And I'm not talking about the toys, the cars, the men or women you may desire, the friendships, the holidays, the houses. None of that will matter when you're gone. When you're on your deathbed, none of that shit matters. I don't mean to be flippant about this, but we've all heard, most of us will have heard about people's comments on their deathbed. There's been studies on this. And some of the things that they valued, the things that they reflected on as this life was drawing to a close, was worrying about things that weren't important. Maybe working too hard, taking time out for themselves, not laughing more. These studies are out there. They did not regret any of the material things, any of the status things, or most of the things that you think you want. You think you want those because you want to be recognized. You think that will make you complete. You think that will validate you. You think that will make you popular. And you think those things will get you approval. None of those things will give you what you really want. I can guarantee all of you want one thing. And that is to love yourself. And this is not in a conceited way. You can only really be happy when you love yourself. Who's been on a flight? Everyone's been on a flight. And who's actually listened to the instructions about safety? No one does, right? The next time you do, listen carefully. When the recording or the person says about gas masks, about oxygen masks, before attempting to help others or assist others with their mask, put your own mask on first. That speaks to self-love. Only when you love yourself, only when you have secured your own oxygen mask, are you in any position in terms of energy, in terms of self-image, and in terms of capability and everything else to be able to love and serve others. And that's why without self-love, without being on the journey to that, without being aware of this, you are nowhere near stepping onto the field of becoming all you can be and actually truly becoming happy. Get a ticket, get onto the field and realize what you really, really want is self-love. Get your ticket, get into the turnstiles. That's what you're doing today. From this day onwards, your mission, whatever else is important, whatever else you're challenged with, whatever else you are duty bound for, whatever pressures you may have, whatever obligations you may have, none of that won't be helped by loving yourself more. When you commit to that, when you realize that, everything else starts to benefit and fall into place. So only when you put your oxygen mask on first are you fully able. You have no idea until when you have that self-love and you start to live from abundance, and then when you're clear on what you want in life, and this is the feelings, this is the experience, this is what really matters and moves the needle for you. So yeah, sure, get down all of the experiences, the toys and the monetary things, and then start to get into the stuff that you'll realize, if not today, then tomorrow, then next week or next year or 10 years, if we're all alive that long, who knows? You don't have that long. However long you have, you don't have as long as you think. When you get clear on what really matters, it's really the non-financial things. So when you get clear on the feelings, the experiences, and you get the self-love train going and that journey moving, that's when the magic starts to happen. And I pray that some of you are experiencing some of that now. Who has experienced or is on this journey? I'm so pleased to see that. So you're the beacons. Yeah? Look around you. Bless, serve and love these people. Connect with them energetically. Put your hand on your heart. Everyone. Close your eyes. Now, those of you who have made progress on the journey to self-love, to being clear on what you want, and are on this journey and you know if you are. If you're not, it's fine. You're safe. You are safe. You are loved. Feel love in this room. And you have people outside, I'm sure, that love you. But those of you who are on this journey, you're the beacons. You know who you are. Send out love and service and the blessings, because I'm sending them to you. You send them to everyone around you. This will magnify and amplify. This is abundance, this is love, this is purity. You tell me we can't solve any problem in the world. You tell me we can't overcome any hatred. Send that love out to everyone. Here's another challenge. The person that you dislike the most or have an issue or a grudge with, I fold my hands and I request you, send love and blessings to them. Louise Hay taught me that those are the people that we most need to forgive, we most need to send love to. The truth is that any grudge we hold only really hurts us. And the truth is that only when we release those and let those go are we free. Until then, you're trying to flap your wings and soar. You're an airplane trying to take off, but you're anchored to the ground. Your feet are nailed to the ground. Your wheels are as a plane stuck on that runway. So blame, shame, justification and grudges, you release those and you can soar. And when self-love starts to take root and it starts to ignite, and it starts to grow in you, and as each new cell grows in your body, it starts to become part of you. It starts to become you. That's magical. I'm blessed by the Almighty to be experiencing that now. And I pray that ignite in you now, or if that's a part of you now, that grows. And let's all send that love to everyone, so that everyone experiences this abundance, this self-love, and this ability and capacity then to serve and achieve from a position of abundance and love, not from lack, not from want, but from peace, from tranquility, from alignment. And that is how you were meant to live. That is your birthright. That's who you really are. That's when you came into this world, before you were told you weren't good enough, before you were criticized, before you were hurt by people who loved you but genuinely did the best they could. You were born abundant. You were born beautiful. You were born complete and perfect. But you experienced life. Your choice now, open your eyes. Thank you. Your choice now is, what do you want to choose from now onwards, from this point onwards, from this moment onwards, from this second onwards? I hope and pray at least some of this has resonated with you. Let it sink into you. I pray you've been open, and my message and love, everything that's come through me from the Almighty reaches you, touches you, into your head and into your heart and into your whole body and being. And that when you sleep tonight, some of this comes back to you, as well as all the amazing things you've heard today. And that you realize you're beautiful, you're perfect, you're complete. You were born that way. One or two things happened, several things might have happened, or it might be your whole journey to this date has just been punching you in the face. No one can change any of that. You can start to change how you see it, what it means to you. You can change everything, starting with finding out what matters to you, what your desires are, what you want, fueled by your imagination. Everything started as a thought. What are you going to start today as a thought right now? Pause, close your eyes. Think for 60 seconds about what's important to you. What are you passionate about? Go. What would you run through a brick wall for? What would you give your life for? What would you give all the money you have in the world for? If you had one wish that could come true, what would that be? If tomorrow was your last day, what would you do today? If you had any choice, what would you do today? How would you spend it? Okay, open your eyes. Now you're starting to connect with what matters to you. Now you're starting to get clear and focused on what's at your core. That's what you're about. Those are your values. Each of you is different. So take all of that. Get clear on what you want. Love yourself by realizing you are perfect. You are beautiful. Look around you. These are the people that are going to go with you on your journey. Drop the people from your life or distance the closeness to your heart and your mind to people that drain you. Connect with upwardly mobile in a sense, in an energy sense. People who are elevated, who operate at the highest frequency. We've spoken about frequencies. Imagination, truth. Truth is the highest frequency. So things at the bottom like fear, greed, jealousy, hate, blame, shame, all of those things do not serve you. They've been part of all of our lives. They're part of all of our lives still, me included. My mission and my prayer for you is that you feel your mission is to rid yourself of all of that. None of that gives you the things that you said were important to you. If you had hours to live, if you had one wish to come true, those low-level feelings, emotions, and habits are not going to get you there. You stick with those things, you're guaranteed not to achieve what you want. You're guaranteed not to become who you want. Realize this. You have a choice. Make your choice. Start making little decisions that take you in the direction of love, that take you in the direction of truth, that attach you and closen you to people like that. That is how you will change your life. That is how to unlock the magic of abundance. That is how, if any of you feel you want to be here on this stage or on your own stage, serving people, some of you are meant to do that. I know you're thinking that, you're feeling that now. I've been through that journey. I was there in 2008. And the spark, I couldn't imagine. I dared to think and dream that I could be doing this. And here I am, blessed to be doing it. Thank you. God bless you. 2 arms, 2 legs. I'm blessed. And with God's grace, most of you are as well. I love that phrase, 2 arms, 2 legs. We are all the same. Nothing can stop you doing what you were meant to do, what you want to do, what you are called to do, what really matters to you. The things that you would want to say you've done on your deathbed when you're there, to look back and that you'll be proud of and that will be part of your legacy. What would you want on your epitaph? What would you want in your legacy? These are the things that some of you feel that you want to do by serving in your own way. Now you might choose to do that anonymously and low profile. Not everyone wants to be a superstar. Or you may want to be out there on the internet or on your online programs. Or you may want to be on a stage like this. Or all of the above. You can choose. You can choose. If you did a program like this, and if that's your destiny, I bless that and I love you for doing that. I don't see it as my loss. I see it as my duty, because that's your calling, and abundance means that by blessing you and inspiring you, the Almighty is always there, the abundance is always there, because I don't live from lack anymore. I live from love and abundance. And my prayer is to elevate you to live from love and abundance as I am, but better than I am. My journey means that I'm able to think like this, to feel like this. If this feels a way off to you, if this feels like a pipe dream to you, treat it as a benchmark. If you feel that you're going through so much shit, you've been through so much shit, and everything in your head says it's okay for him, he's fine, he's got it all sorted. I've been through shit. I've told you part of my journey. You may have been through much more. You may be going through much more. I can't change that. You can decide what you're going to do from this moment onwards. From this, the minute you step out of here this evening, what are you going to change? What decisions are you going to make? Whose life are you going to change? What are you going to let go of? Who are you going to let go of? You tell me you're not empowered. You have all those choices and more. That is all within your power. That is all within your gift. We are blessed to be awake, alive, to be here, to be safe, secure, to be in a position to be at this kind of event. It doesn't matter that I'm on stage and you're there. We're all blessed to be here. Be grateful. How have I not got to gratitude yet? Everything that good happens in the world is rooted to gratitude. Be grateful. Gratitude is a high frequency emotion. Gratitude will take you. Without gratitude, none of what I've said is going to happen. You can do all of that, but if you don't practice gratitude, if you don't start to come from gratitude, If you don't feel grateful, you will be negative. If you're not grateful, you'll be pessimistic. If you're not grateful, you will likely hold grudges and blame others. And that is why be grateful from this moment onwards. Write your gratitude journal. You hear these things, they're there for a reason. And it's not a tick box. If it feels forced initially, take 60 seconds and do it as a speed thing. See what you can come up with. Gratitude starts to trigger chemicals in your body. There's a whole science here. It's amazing stuff about how we work. You have no idea how amazing you are. You have no idea how incredible and powerful you are. Just starting from the thoughts in your body and the emotions that you can trigger. You within you have the world's most powerful pharmacy. You within you, each one of you, has the most incredible, astounding, abundant, unlimited laboratory and natural drug factory. I believe you can make anything happen within you and within your body, and then manifest that into your reality, into your physical life, starting from gratitude with a clear vision of what you want and a deep desire, creating the environment and habits that take you in that direction. And this is how you start to reinvent yourself and reinvent your life. Is it a lot? Yes, it is a lot. Did you see anything that promised you an easy life? Anyone got that guarantee? No. And even the things for this program, we told you about all the things that you can become. None of that is easy. Life does not come with a guarantee. But I've given you, and the other speakers, the amazing people, I've given you the route, the science, the art, and the method. What you do with it is up to you. If none of this touches you, I bless and I pray that it does tomorrow, next week, next year. And if you're cynical, I pray and I bless that something or someone comes into your life to pierce through that. Or you may be the person, because you're here, that gets this, that connects with this, that wants something more, that wants to be more, wants to stand for more, wants to serve more, and wants to get to their last day, having self-actualized, having been all they can be. That's why you're here. I know something called you here. And I pray to God that you found it and you're finding it. Live from gratitude. Get crystal clear on what you want, how that will feel. Start to do the little practices, make decisions. It'll be tough. There'll be times you don't want to do it. In this journey, in this fight, that will be months and years in the making. But when you start to become that, when that starts to happen for you, oh, you'll be addicted to it. You'll be so glad. And you will start to see the stuff that you want to leave behind. You'll start to see some of the old habits you want to ditch. You'll start to ditch the crap social media that you spend hours flicking through. You'll get out of those groups. You'll mute them or exit them. The crap that comes through on your messaging, you'll deflect it. Explicitly, you will tell people, like I have, or it just won't come to you. Those things will start to happen. And all of that starts to help you and serve you rather than hold you back from being everything that you can be and everything you want to be and everything you need to be. That's momentum. When you start to go in the right direction and you're clear on what serves you and what drains you and holds you back, when you start to do what serves you and hold on to it and practice it and internalize it and habitualize it, when you do it repeatedly, it becomes a habit. All of these things start to build an infrastructure. They start to build the skeleton of your amazing, incredible self. Each of your new cells will be living from your absolutely astounding, blinding, breathtaking, amazing, awesome, incredible best self. But that will come with time. Keep doing it. Stick to it. Keep your conviction. We all have down days. Some days I just had to get through. Literally just get through that shit day. With God's grace, you'll wake up tomorrow morning. It will be a fresh day. You can go again. However bad today is, tomorrow is another day. So remember that. If you feel that you're facing something huge, so painful, something that gives you no light at the end of the tunnel, tomorrow is another day. Sometimes it's a case of getting through today, getting rest, just trying to breathe. And then when you wake up, I found this so often with God's grace. Each time I have woken after a shit day the following day with God's grace. And I've been able to go again. And I felt like a completely different person. And I didn't recognize the shit mindset I was in before. Either it felt like someone else or I'd moved on from it. So I'm not saying your problems will go away the next day. What I am saying quite often is you will feel differently about the very same challenges. You will see them differently. You will be more constructive in how you approach them. Sometimes you just need to survive a day so that you can wake up the next day and start to make a dent, start to pierce through, start to make progress, start to separate stuff. Everything is jumbled in your head, isn't it? One thing links to another. There's problems in your relationship. The kids are driving you crazy. The finances are shit. There's no way you're going to get that promotion. You've been struggling in business for years. When are you going to get profitable? When are you going to hit that next target? When are you going to stop working 80 hours a week? When are you going to stop working 100 hours a week? You will start to pierce through. Everything's linked. Separate those things. Decouple them. Stop jumping from one to another. When I started to do that, it changed my life. When I itemized things and dealt constructively with one issue at a time, separating them out. Almost like a pile of papers you've got to put into different piles, like bills, junk mail, stuff to attend to, stuff to file, stuff to read and understand. When you start to separate your issues into individual things, and yes, they may be linked, start to then think about one thing you can do in each of those areas. What is the main issue? What is the problem? I tell my kids, I used to tell them when we'd do homework together in math or maths. Okay, you've got to find out how long is the journey when the train leaves at this time, and some other information tells you that. The thing I used to always say is find out what the question is. Turn that description into an equation. In the same way, the stuff that's going on in your life, that would be the question, that would be the worded question. And your goal always, aim to turn that, reduce all that, strip away all the crap and noise, crystallize that and take that and turn it into a one-line problem or a root cause or issue. When you do that, you have contained it. You've circled that issue. You've started to take control. You've started your journey to becoming bigger than your problem. You have it itemized, and then you can start to attack it. So if you've got lots of crap going on, everything linked, this is how you start to stop blowing a fuse and looping and going round and round with it in your head. the more you think something, the deeper that habit becomes within you. I heard and learnt so long ago that what you focus on, where your energy goes and where your attention goes, that expands. Think of a road, a track. If that is followed more and more each day, if it's dirt, every day, if it's followed and the other land around it's not touched, that will start to form a really deep road, a deep track. Your brain is like that. That's how you function. So the more you do something, the more it becomes inescapable. There's almost no other way. But now that you know this, if it's not serving you, you change it. Your results are because of who you are now. Who you are now has been created by your habits, your beliefs, and everything you have done and been taught and bought into, and how you've done it. And the more you do that, the more you think, speak, behave and believe as you have, you are making that track deeper, and it becomes 6 feet deep until you can't even see the rest of the field. All you know is that track. If you're used to doing things as you have always done, if you're used to being who you've always been, if you're used to thinking how you've always thought, you might just be 6 feet deep into that same road, into that same track. You've dug it so deep that you can't even consider that there's any other way. We've all lived there to some extent. With God's grace, I've managed to jump out of the tracks that didn't serve me. I climbed out. I struggled out. I've cried on the journey. I've felt pain here. I felt despair. Now I choose which track I take. I choose which direction I take. That's why you're here. That's my prayer for you, that you can get out of that 6 foot deep burrow where you can see nothing else, where you think that's it, and this is how you are, and this is how life is. Realize today that you have a choice. I've told you some of the things that you can do to start to make that change. Go and do it. Start to make those changes. But then, when you leave here, stay with us. We will be with you. We will support you. We will hold your hand and be there to support you with love, encouragement, inspiration, challenge. There'll be smiles. There'll be tears. There'll be heartache. There'll be euphoria. But it'll be so worth it. What is a life if you live it thinking if only, with regret, or thinking one day? If you haven't gone for it, if you haven't made a convicted decision to change, if you've lived as if you're always practicing for that performance or that match one day, that one day may never come. Start to live life for real. Live as if you mean it. A top sports person from the UK who played a sport called cricket, which you may or may not have heard of. His name's Ian Botham, legendary player for England. A quote from him that has always stayed with me is, life is not a dress rehearsal. Life is not a dress rehearsal. The last hour that we spent together, you are not going to get back. I feel so blessed, humbled and honoured and guided that I've had this opportunity to serve you to my best as inspired by the Almighty. And I hope and pray that it has served you. I wouldn't change a thing about the time we've had together. What are you going to choose? Stop life being a dress rehearsal. One day this, bullshit, forget one day. Do it now, do it today. Decide what you're going to do in the next moment. Decide what you're going to do tomorrow. Decide on some things that are going to change for the rest of your life. It's not a dress rehearsal. No one's coming. Stop fantasizing. Stop hoping. Start making it happen. That way you will know. Take ownership. And when you're doing these things, you take ownership. And when you take ownership, you're not blaming. And when you start to become all you can be, you watch how the world around you changes. You watch how your life changes. You watch how people around you start to treat you differently. And you watch how subtly, imperceptibly, but unmistakably, you serve them by shining your light, by being the example, not by judging and lecturing, not by nagging, but through your self-love, through your inner happiness, through your self-realization, through your example. Life starts to become effortless as you start to flourish. I've been blessed to be on this journey, and you will too, is my prayer with God's grace. Make the decision. I hope you're feeling the love and the purity of my intention and taking away the information and the inspiration. And some of what I've said hits you here in a good way and in a painful way. Because the truth is, if it doesn't hurt, you're not doing it right. If I haven't made you feel pain or face up to some shit in your life, then I've let you down and I've let myself down. I hope and pray that you've confronted some stuff. But if that's because you haven't opened up, because you're not honest with yourself, that's on you, my friend. I can't change that. If you're going to keep the barriers up, if ego and fear is going to stop you, if you've been hurt so much that you can't be vulnerable, I understand that. I understand how self-defense and the need to protect yourself and be safe and feel safe is the first thing we all need. As you start on this journey, as these things start to become you, you will become more vulnerable. And you'll notice as you take little baby steps to being more and more vulnerable, you will start to unlock magic because you're being authentic. You're being humble. From this point onwards, notice when people are vulnerable. Notice when you have the courage to be vulnerable or be more vulnerable than you are. Now, obviously, look after yourself and don't expose yourself to huge pain and huge humiliation or risk or loss. Because being vulnerable can be emotional, it can be volunteering information about yourself, it can be sharing your view, it can be admitting a mistake, it can be admitting a weakness. I've let all of that shit go, and life is so much more beautiful and joyful and less complicated. It's like a poetic symphony, largely because, or in a big part because, I've become more vulnerable. What can you open yourself up to that you know, part of you knows you can take that step to being vulnerable in some way, shape or form. Because the truth is, if you're not vulnerable, you're closed off. And that may cause you to be anxious. You cannot grow. Growth is outside your comfort zone. We've all heard that. The truth is that if you stay where you are, you will not be vulnerable. Only when you start to be vulnerable can you experience and open up to growth and get outside your comfort zone and start to be more and grow into more. So think about this. Close your eyes for 30 seconds and think about, how could you open up more? How could you express your feelings more? How could you express your needs more? Where do you need to admit that you haven't admitted to yourself and others? We've all heard the phrase, you can lie to yourself, but don't lie to me. Stop lying to yourself. Stop lying to yourself. Close your eyes. How can you be more vulnerable? What can you open up to and how? What do you need to stop saying to yourself that you've said and you know it's not true? It's the shit, the bullshit you need to stop telling yourself. What are the same old stories or beliefs? Okay, open your eyes, write them down. Here's an easy starter. How did you used to be in the past? Think about a way that you've grown, or a way that something you've learnt, something you've let go of, or a tendency you had. Maybe you used to judge people a lot and you don't anymore. Do it less. Maybe you used to criticize a lot and you do it less. Maybe you used to think the worst of people and you do it less now. Maybe you used to be angry and you do it less now. Think of a way that you've grown. Now, think about the next thing, the next way you're going to grow by being more vulnerable. Who can you open up to? Who has someone that they're close to, someone that they can have open, true, honest conversations with? Right. Thank you. What's that person's name? What's one of the heart-to-heart conversations you've had with them? What was the last thing? What comes to mind? What do you think you want to say to them next, or open up to him next about? Thank you. Round of applause, everyone. High five, everyone around her. Give her a high five or a hug, whatever works for you. Who's next? What's going on? Okay, you need to forgive them. First thing, forgive them in your heart. That's changed. Every bully was once a victim. Every bully is a coward. So that person, he's been aggressive to you. They actually need love. They're in pain. They're searching. If you can see that, if you can feel that in your heart, that will actually start to make you feel sympathy for them, that they can heal. When you do that, you heal. That empowers you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I love you. God bless you. May this moment and every moment onwards be a blessing for you. Decide that you are going to be a blessing to the world. You're going to be a blessing to your loved ones. You are going to be a blessing to everyone you touch. Stay with us. Join the journey. You've heard from everyone whose lives we've changed. You have found someone who you can relate to. You found someone who thought, yes, that was me, that's me now. Maybe they were there a week ago. Maybe they were there 5 years ago. They've been on this journey. They've grown, they've flourished. Love has become them. They have become abundant. You can too. Thank you. I love you. God bless you.